Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one. It's a card project, and it's a rather lovely card at that. I like to think so anyway. I don't do cards on video very often, and I had made this to be a static project for my blog, but I really liked how it came out. And when I was showing it to my husband, he was like, wow, where did you get the yellow stamp from? And despite knowing what I do for a living, obviously because he lives in here, he thought the yellow was stamped. So if he thought that, maybe somebody else will, so I'm going to show you how to make it. So this uses the stamp set Campology, and actually, as it happens, I'm filming this the day before Chris and the children are going camping. I'm not. I don't do camping. I need, a proper bed, not a lilo. But it uses Campology, and it's this one here. So I'm going to recreate, often you'll see me do a project with a different stamp or papers or something, but I'm going to use the same one. And while this one was done on early espresso cardstock, I'm going with basic black for this one. So you need a piece of cardstock that you've cut in half and scored in half to make your standard size card base. And then you need a piece of basic white that, because I work in metric, is 1/2 centimetre shorter and narrower, but if you work in imperial, make it maybe 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch shorter and narrower. That we're going to stamp all over, and then when I come to do this section here and this panel, I will measure it and show you how to do that. So first things first, I'm going to measure this up. So I want a little bit of a room around this, so I'm going to go 2 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. Get my trimmer. So 2 1/4 by 3 1/4 is, well, let's just make it, we'll call it 5.5 centimetres by 9. And because I had this 1/2 centimetre border around here, my black border needs to be the same. So what did I say? Okay. So yeah, just whatever distance you have, excuse me, around your piece of white, make sure that you do the same for that one too. So that on there, and then you brighten my life. Let me just measure that up. So we're going to make that 5 by 2. Another bit of white. And literally, I just measure the stamped image, and I decide whether I want to have any kind of border around it or not. And just do it like that. I try not to make it too complicated. Crafting is, of course, about having fun, not having to break the ruler out every 2 minutes. At least in my book it is. Okay, so again, I've got the same border going all the way around, so it's replicated all over. Okay, so I'm going to pop those. I'm going to stamp all of my bits. So I've got my lantern, and that block's not long enough. I'm going to go for a bigger block. And then, because I'm going to be using Blend's alcohol markers, I want Memento as my base ink to work in. And I'm going to go pretty much straight in the middle. And then that can dry, that can fully dry before I do anything else. Okay, and then I'm just going to randomly stamp all over this. No sort of special design to it, just, let's just lay down some images and we're all good. So that's that one done, and I'm going to keep with the same depth of black, and stamp my sentiment with the same one. That block is far too big, but you do, when you're stamping like this, you do want a block that is big enough for you to see all the way around your stamped, or around the stamp. Then you know you're lining it up just right. There we go, you brighten my path. Okay, and again, I want to give this one some good drying time, so let me start putting my card together. So I've got some regular seal. I'm going to lay that over the top. I'm just going to push that down just to make sure that has dried. Dried enough for me to move it around, but probably, yeah. There we go. So, let's hope this is dried, and I'm going to zoom in. So, let me with this scrap of paper. So I've got 4 sets of blends. So I've got 2 pairs. This one is the So Saffron in light and dark, and this one is Daffodil Delight in light and dark. And you will see that the reason I've done this is that I've got a beautiful pale there, but if I come in with the dark of it, it's not quite right. And again, if I come in with the light of this and then the dark, oops, wrong one, wrong end, I need to have them moving around quite a lot. So, oh, there's a cat coming onto the desk. It's a good thing I'm zoomed in because you can't see her. Here's a tail. So what I'm going to do is let's get the right end first. I'm going to just gently start at the bottom with the light So Saffron, and then I'm going to come in, just go straight in for it, with the dark Daffodil Delight, and then start moving. And it's just a case of going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, over and over to move it. And this is where I maybe should have paused the video and given this half an hour to dry. No, it doesn't need half an hour. But I can see a little bit of bleed going on. But just keep coming in and you can move that ink around. And that's what gives you this wonderful blend effect. Now, this little section here, that's too tiny for any blending going on. And I'm going to put a little bit down there. And just move them backwards and forwards. Just to get that colour moving. Put another little blob there. And this is quite a nice, gentle thing to do, I think, is probably the word I would use. It's just gentle. And yeah, you can see that black's bleeding, but you know, I'm not too worried. Now, I'm going to come in now with the light Daffodil Delight and just get a little bit of colour going here around. A little round here. Not too much. It's a bit sort of sketchy, I think is the word. I don't know if that's the word. That's pretty much all I want with that colour. And just start walking this lovely pale So Saffron. And you get this nice little glow. And the more you add, I'm going to put in a little bit more of this. Just sort of squigglied. That's such a technical term, squigglied. And you begin to build up this lovely, lovely colour. And you keep adding to it and it glows. And it becomes very realistic, in my opinion. So, let me zoom out. There we go. And glue up my final bits. And then with a couple of dimensionals, which are next to Sorrel, who is blinding herself by staring at the lights above me. Of course she is, because, you know, cat. Contrary little beasts. And I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to do it the other side this time. onto there. Oops. And those are my 2 cards. And you can see, if I bring it close enough, you can see there's a little bit of bleed on the centre of this left one. Do allow your inks to dry before you start working on them, but I've just realised I've not put any So Saffron right up this bit. There we go. I could be here for hours on that, but I think they're lovely, and I think if somebody's into camping or you just simply want to say thank you, a great project. I hope you like it too. Bye.